This scene is one of the most unforgettable scenes in cinema history. Today, we will dive into 10 weird facts that you must know about The Godfather, 1972. Stick around till the end, because there's a bonus fact waiting for you. Let's begin. The horse's head was real. The first fact takes us straight to that shocking scene. When director Francis Ford Coppola was shooting the moment where the producer wakes up to find a horse's head in his bed, he wanted a reaction that felt completely genuine. The prop team made a fake head, but Coppola thought it looked too fake. So, without telling the actor John Marley, they got a real horse's head from a dog food factory. Marley had no idea about this plan. When the cameras rolled and he lifted the sheet, what he saw was real, and so was his scream. That wasn't acting, it was a real human reaction. Marlon Brando used cue cards.
I have a photo. This is a real photo. We did not mock this up. This is you doing a scene with Brando, and you have to hold the lines on your chest.
Now let's talk about Marlon Brando, the man who became Don Vito Corleone. Brando was known for his method acting and unique approach to roles. Well, what many don't know is that he refused to memorize his lines. He believed that memorizing made performances sound unnatural. He used cue cards hidden all around the set to keep his delivery spontaneous. Some were placed on furniture, behind lamps, and even on the clothes of his co-stars. Robert Duvall revealed that Brando taped lines to his chest so he could read them during a scene. Now you know why Don Corleone's dialogue feels so thoughtful and slow. Luca Brasi's nervousness was real.
He's not on the list, but Luca Brasi wants to see him.
Next up is the story of Luca Brasi, one of Don Corleone's most loyal men. The actor who played him is Lenny Montana, and he was actually a professional wrestler and not a trained actor. When he arrived on set and realized he would be acting opposite Marlon Brando, he became incredibly nervous. He kept fumbling his lines and stuttering during their first scene together. But instead of cutting the footage, Coppola decided to turn this accident into part of the story. Brilliant, right? He added a new scene showing Luca Brasi practicing his speech before meeting Don Corleone. It's another reminder that sometimes the best movie moments happen by accident. The cat was a stray.
We've known each other many years, but this is the first time you ever came to me.
Now let's talk about one of the most unexpected stars of The Godfather. Yes, the cat in the opening scene. In that quiet office, Don Corleone sits petting a cat while deciding someone's fate. It showed a perfect image of calm power, but that cat wasn't planned at all. That poor cat was wandering around the studio. Coppola noticed it and handed it to Brando right before shooting began. The cat was so happy that it started purring loudly. That moment became one of the most iconic openings in film history. The cast had a mooning contest.
I want you to rest well, and a month from now, this Hollywood big shot's gonna give you what you want.
Here's something you probably never expected. The serious and dark atmosphere of The Godfather set was balanced out by hilarious behind-the-scenes pranks. Yes, to relieve stress during the long shoot, the cast came up with a strange tradition, a mooning contest. It started with James Caan and Robert Duvall joking around and mooning each other and the crew. But things escalated quickly. Soon, even Marlon Brando joined in. The grand finale came during the famous wedding scene, which had more than 400 extras on set. Brando and Duvall decided to end the contest by mooning the entire crowd. The crew laughed so hard that they made Brando a custom leather belt with the title Mighty Moon King engraved on it. Sounds fun, right? If you are enjoying the video so far, stay with us. We still have a bonus fact waiting for you at the end. The word mafia was banned.
I remember he was having a lot of problems every time he mentioned Brando's name.
One of the strangest challenges Coppola faced wasn't creative, it was political. When The Godfather was being made, the Italian-American Civil Rights League, led by real-life mobster Joe Colombo, protested against the film. They claimed it would make Italian Americans look bad and strengthen negative stereotypes. The protests got so serious that the studio started receiving threats. To calm things down, the producers met the league and made a deal. The words mafia and cosa nostra would be completely removed from the script. That's why, despite being one of the most famous mob movies ever made, The Godfather never used the word mafia. Sylvester Stallone was rejected.
Surprised, though, that you haven't played more gangsters in your career, because it's such a staple of, like, Italian...
Before he became a global star as Rocky Balboa, Sylvester Stallone was just another struggling actor trying to get a role. He was happy, even if it was a simple role. He auditioned several times for The Godfather. He hoped to get even a small part, like Paulie Gatto. Unfortunately, he didn't get it. He wasn't even offered a background role. Stallone later said that the rejection motivated him to take control of his career. A few years later, he wrote Rocky and insisted on playing the lead himself. That film made him a Hollywood legend. The score was disqualified from the Oscars. The haunting, emotional music of The Godfather is one of the most recognizable movie scores ever. It was composed by Nino Rota, and it helped set the tone of tragedy, family, and power throughout the film. At first, Rota was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Score. However, the nomination was later taken back. And why is that? Well, the Academy discovered that Rota had reused parts of a melody he had written years earlier for an Italian comedy called Fortunella. The oranges were for color, not death. There's a popular fan theory that the oranges in The Godfather symbolize death. And it makes sense. Well, almost every time someone is about to die, an orange appears somewhere in the scene. Fans have spent years analyzing this pattern. But according to Coppola and production designer Dean Tavoularis, the truth is simple. The oranges weren't symbols of death at all. They were chosen purely for visual reasons. The oranges were added to bring a pop of brightness to the frame. Tavoularis once said, "We knew this film wasn't going to be about bright colors, and oranges make a nice contrast." Bonus fact: the cast thought the film would fail.
I don't know if I was able to verbalize so intelligently to someone, even to get back to Peter Bart, that I wanted to do it as a metaphor for capitalism. Ultimately, that's what it was.
Well, now there is the bonus fact that you all waited for. The people making The Godfather didn't believe it would succeed. Yes, you heard me right. The production was a mess. There were fights between Coppola and the studio executives. Paramount didn't want Brando or Al Pacino in the movie. They thought Brando was too difficult to work with, and Pacino wasn't famous enough to carry such a big film. Even during filming, the mood was tense. After finishing the long wedding scene, Al Pacino and Diane Keaton went out for drinks together, thinking that their careers were over. They thought The Godfather would ruin them. But fate had other plans. The film became a massive hit. If you enjoyed this video, you will love the next one. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and tell us your favorite fact in the comments.